What's going on, guys? It's another episode of the MMA Complex. My name is Josh,
And I'm James.
and we're back, brand new episode, talking about Roseanne Barr right now, racist of the month. Um, and we're watching Joey Diaz's
Morning joint.
Morning Joe, or what is it,
Joint.
Periscope?
Yeah,
Or
his
Morning
morning
Joe
joint. Yeah.
Periscope, talking about her.
Yeah, I mean, again, let's see, like you're living under a rock. Yeah, Roseanne tweeted some racist stuff, and
She lost her show.
and then yeah, because of that, she lost her show, and everyone that she worked with pretty much lost her job. And then she started blaming Amium on it, which is insane. I mean, if you're gonna talk shit, own up to it, and then maybe
Yeah.
people will be more forgiving. Now, I know a lot of people are saying that she's done. I don't think she is. I mean, I look back at Dolly the Bounty Hunter, who said
Yeah,
the
he
N
had some
word,
racist stuff.
and then
Yeah,
people hated him for about 6 months. They forgot about it, and now people love him again.
yeah,
Hulk Hogan is another one that
yeah.
said a bunch of racist stuff, and then I think he's in talk with the WWE to come back, and
Yeah.
I think in America people kind of forget about those things
They do.
after
They do.
after 6 months to a year, and then I don't believe that she's done, but I think as far as how people view her and people that want to support her, I think
Mhm.
that's out the window.
Yeah, no, I think. Well, I think she's done for big networks. I think she's done. She might be able to take her show or do some other show on some other smaller network, like
Or just do
country
like
music network,
podcasts.
or do a
on
podcast. She can easily do that.
Yeah,
Yeah, she can easily do it. She's got the money to have an awesome setup.
I don't even see her doing like gigs at the Comedy Store.
No. Right now she's gonna lay low, but give her like 6 months to a year, and she could probably bounce back with something like a
Yeah,
podcast or whatever. But yeah, no, you got. We're talking about how like people like Joe Rogan and people like Jimmy Kimmel and all these other people that are like normally kind of against. I wouldn't say Joe Rogan necessarily, but they're kind of they're more on the like the I guess the left to the middle instead of the far right, or like Roseanne where she's on the putting out conspiracies against Democrats or saying racist shit or whatever. So you got people like that coming to her defense, and I get it. You're friends of hers. You can call her up whenever. Even Joe Rogan will try to get her on the podcast right after to defend herself, and even that made news. Um, but I mean, it's stupid. It's like
call a spade for a spade.
yeah. She's done this stuff plenty of times before. She's talked shit. She's been said racist shit before. And I mean, obviously the network took a chance in hiring her, and it paid off for a short bit. But then she went, it's kind of like how all these other Trump supporters and all these other people that are running for office, they're all white supremacist people. A lot of them are. They're more now than have ever ran for office before, and they feel emboldened. They feel like they can say whatever they want to say, racist or not. And she's obviously she's another example of that. And I'm glad that ABC didn't really waste any time in cutting her and dropping her show. But it's sad when you see people like Joe Rogan and all them. I get you're friends with hers, but you can't defend somebody like that. You can't.
Yeah, exactly. And then I know, like, I mean, like it doesn't take a rocket science to know that what Trump is doing is not only
Yeah.
insane but wrong. I mean, the fact that he wants to impeach himself. I mean, pardon
Pardon himself
himself.
if he gets impeached.
Pardon
Yeah.
himself. Yeah,
Stupid.
it's insane that he actually thinks he can pardon himself just because he's
Yeah.
the president. I
Yeah.
mean, like you look at his behavior and like his patterns of things. I mean, it doesn't take a brain like a rocket science to know that what he's doing is not only wrong but
Yeah.
insanely racial and whatnot.
Yeah.
But you have these people who walk around blinded by what he does because they love him so much. It's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. And
we're not. I mean, as far as the right or left, like I just think that I'm someone with logic, and what he's doing has nothing to do with me being right or left. It's,
yeah.
he's what he's doing is wrong, and I'm against it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you have it's almost like it's because she is who she is, and she's white. I guess she might be Jewish. I don't know what the fuck she is. But she you have Joe Rogan saying, "Oh, she's got mental illness. Oh, we should show compassion for her. Oh, she took Ambien. There's plenty of stories of people doing crazy shit on Ambien. I'm sure. I whether I'm fucked up on alcohol or on whatever I'm doing at the time and whatever actions I do, it's on me.
Yeah.
No matter what, it's on me. Whatever I do.
And it's different between us and the public figure. She's a public figure, so it's
Yeah, she's a
completely
public
different.
figure.
So she has to be responsible for what she says because there's millions of people
Yeah,
who are only not only fans of hers, but they're she has a platform where she can say these crazy shit.
yeah.
Unfortunately, but yeah, I mean, you own up to your shit, and people are forgiving. But when you
But
start making excuses, I mean, I think it looks worse when you make excuses rather than just own
hmm
up to it. Because people fuck up, every
yeah,
day.
yeah,
You just gotta own up to it. I
yeah.
mean,
And then I think it's wrong on Rogan's part to push that narrative and to like push her excuse as a real reason of as an excuse for her saying racist stuff and tweeting racist stuff that she has done for quite a while. Um, oh, she's it's just, you're saying that we're then saying that it's okay for what she did, and a lot of the ways you can compare it to uh like school shooters or mass shooters
hmm
when they're white. People want to say, oh, it's mental illness. Oh, they had some reason for doing it.
hmm
But when they're not white, it's oh, they're a terrorist or they're
they're
like they're
criminals.
criminals, they're dirtbags, they're scumbags. But when it's the same thing, it's almost the exact same kind of example. Like she's white, she's like a very popular person in the media and figure in the public eye, and then he's making an excuse. Oh, she's got mental illness, and he has such a big platform for his show. It's like kind of like it's irresponsible for him to even like
Yeah,
put that shit
but
out.
like that same example can be kind of. I mean, I think it's both sides of the table. I think when it's a black and black crime, people kind of people don't say anything. But if a white guy sees
Yeah,
someone that's black, black people will start protesting,
yeah,
but they don't say anything when it's their own people, their
yeah.
own
That's true.
race killing each other.
That's
So
true.
it's both sides. I mean, no side is right. I
Yeah,
mean, I mean, like we're at the end of the day, we all bleed out the same color of
yeah.
blood.
But in terms of other people's eyes, a lot of people don't see it that way. They're a lot,
Yeah,
and I get it. Yeah, there's obviously in killing and crime within communities and within races and ethnicities. Um, but when like you have somebody who's at like in terms of the hierarchy, in terms of what is considered
I mean, Trump is the most
yeah,
powerful guy or man
white
on.
in terms of white supremacy and all that stuff. Yeah, yeah, people like like a lot of white supremacists and all that. They like to say a lot of that stuff. Yeah, you guys kill each other, whatever. Whatever. But
It's okay, yeah.
there's obviously, but in terms of the justice handed down I- on those killings, it's not the same. You have
No,
like someone a black man who kills another black man, he might get life in prison. A white man kills a black man, he'll probably get 3 years in prison and 5 years
and
probation.
six, yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
yeah,
So it's that there's not a balance there, but I get the arguments in terms of, there's not obviously not just killing in one area,
yeah.
but yeah, in terms of that stuff, we're talking about Roseanne and Joe Rogan and all these other people that are defending her, and it's just like
And they quick to defend.
quick to defend.
I mean, if I was in Rogan's position and she was a good friend of mine, I just wouldn't even defend her at all. I would just say, just like when Brandon Sharp said those comments. I mean,
Yeah,
Joe Rogan wasn't defending. I mean, he said that he was wrong. Just say that she's
yeah.
wrong, and that's
To
all you
say
have to
she was
say.
wrong. That's it.
That's all you have to say is that she was wrong,
Yeah,
and whatever she was on. He doesn't know anything.
yeah, exactly.
It's just
That's all
wrong.
he had to say. Not go and defend her and be like, just say, yeah, she was wrong. Let her speak. Her if she wants to put out the excuse that she take Ambien and she doesn't remember, whatever. But that's how people like when they're drunk and they don't remember raping somebody, like
Or drunk driving and killing
or drunk
somebody.
driving and kill somebody. I don't remember, or they said something stupid. I don't
Yeah,
remember. I
yeah,
was
drink
drunk.
alcohol. Yeah, I wasn't.
Yeah,
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 it's just. I mean, every action has a consequence,
yeah,
and whether it be good or bad,
yeah.
every action has a
I
consequence.
think it relates to this show because someone in the MMA world and in the media world, like Joe Rogan, is putting out.
Who's powerful?
Yeah, who a lot of people listen to him even outside of the MMA world. A lot of people listen to him. So it's kind of the stuff that's like I don't know how you could defend it. In the fact that he was so quick to defend it, it's just like it's another knock against him. not on top of the fact that he brings up a lot of subjects that we talked about, a lot of subjects where he's just like
Yeah,
constantly.
I wonder if like some of the black fighters in the UFC kind of see him differently now because of that.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of yeah, because I mean, she the what she put out was like pretty racist, and I mean, it's fucking crazy,
I
and
mean, she knew what she was doing. Like
she knew what she was doing.
she got her phone or whatever
She even said it was a bad
device.
joke.
Yeah,
She knew it was a bad joke across the
I
line.
mean that she had to like write all those words out herself, so it was
Yeah,
premeditated
she
for
typed
sure.
it. She typed it. She knew what she was doing,
Yeah,
and it blew back on her.
and there's no excuse for that.
And especially right now, people like that feel emboldened to say and do whatever they want, just like that lawyer over in New York that was like talking shit to the people because they were speaking Spanish to each other. I don't know if you heard about that. He was in New York. He was
Yeah,
a lawyer. He got a lot of pushback from, it went viral. People like that feel emboldened to say and do whatever they want now, especially with what's his name in power.
hmm
You have someone who advocates for white supremacy in the presidency, and all these other people, lower level people, regular people, just think they can do whatever they want, say whatever
hmm
they want,
yeah,
and but with example for Roseanne and that lawyer guy in New York, there's consequences, you
yeah.
know.
Yeah, because you're right. I mean, Roseanne and Trump, they're cognizant of what they're doing,
Yeah,
but they still do it.
they still do it. Yeah, they still do it.
Because they think that they're because of their power,
Yeah,
nothing can touch them. But
yeah.
I mean, we saw with that with
So with that,
Roseanne.
I mean, and people feel bad about the other cast members and losing their job, but I'm sure they were like not. They were just doing it for the money. They knew that she was like kind of a loose cannon.
Yeah,
They knew what they were dealing with, and it didn't
yeah,
last long. So I mean, they'll be fine.
yeah,
I mean, maybe not. Maybe I'm sure John Goodman will be fine, and then her sister, I think, in the show would be fine because she's doing pretty well. The rest of them, I think, will be struggling because they're not really doing much.
yeah. Well, Sarah, the girl that plays her daughter,
Yeah,
she was writing most of the material
and I heard that they were even thinking of doing just a spin-off show with her.
with her. Yeah,
Yeah, which I mean,
she's very talented.
yeah, she's very talented. So I mean, I would say that'll be fine. Even just with John Goodman and just take out Roseanne.
Yeah, just write Roseanne off.
They should call it Dan. Just call it Dan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or just write her out. Yeah,
Yeah.
just write out the series.
Just write her out the series and that's
She
it.
walks and she got shot
Yeah.
and whatever.
A single father show.
She got beaten by a black guy.
There you go. In the MMA news, you had CM Punk today connecting with 225 this weekend. CM Punk wins his defamation lawsuit with the WWE doctor, who didn't take too kindly to his words on a podcast. I think with what's the other pro wrestler's name?
Kobe. I mean, Cole Cabana.
Cole Cabana, yeah. And so that loss is crazy the verdict for that lawsuit happened the same week as 225. That's got to be difficult for
That's a lot of
CM Punk.
stress. I mean, for CM Punk.
Yeah,
I mean, because he had to be there. It was mandatory, so he had to like take time from cutting weight or getting ready for media, getting ready for that
Yeah.
stressful fight week to come to court and deal with his dealings with the WWE.
but the court. I think I heard was it in New York? Was the court
Yeah,
hearing or was it in Chicago?
I believe in New York. I
Okay.
think I could be wrong.
It might wherever it was. It's still got to be distracting for him, especially with
Oh
the weight
yeah,
cut. Fighting the fight that he's in. Obviously, the opponent that he's fighting isn't like the highest ranked fighter in the world, but he's still
it's still a fight.
still a big fight.
It's a high profile card too.
High
So.
profile card, high profile fight. A lot of pressure on him to perform.
And it's in his hometown of Chicago.
Yeah, that's got to be a lot of stress on him. I'm sure the weight cut will be fine. It happened early in the week, so now he could just concentrate on the rest of the week and just on the weight cut.
Well, there's an excuse if he loses. He can just say that.
Yeah, the lawsuit. I had court hearing this week. Blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. Do you think it'll distract him much, or do you think he'll be alright?
I think he's a pro. He's
He's
a
a pro.
pro, and I think I'm sure he had to know that this day was coming.
Yeah,
So I think he he probably mentally prepared himself for the court date, as well as the whole media frenzy of 225.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that it happened in the week. I wonder if he
It's
was
just
able.
bad timing.
Yeah, I wonder if he would have been able to. Obviously, I'm sure he tried to reschedule it. But
Yeah,
you
with
know,
courts it's difficult.
yeah, it's probably difficult. But I don't think it'll affect him too. We'll see. We'll see how the fight goes this weekend. We'll get to the card shortly. This past weekend you have UFC Utica with Marlon Moraes and what's the card?
Oh, it's Marlon Morales and Marlon Morales. Oh, who is it?
Jimmy Rivera.
Oh,
Jesus
Jesus
Christ.
Christ.
Fuck. Yeah, Jimmy Rivera this weekend. It was in New York, Utica, New York. UFC Fight Night 131. Um, Decent card overall. It was okay. It wasn't like the most boring card, but
I think Joey Torres and
yeah, that
Marlon Morales
was
fight was the two best
the knockout from
for the takedown.
the takedown.
Yeah,
I mean,
crazy.
I didn't really watch much of that fight.
I saw like it was like on loop on ESPN and a
Hmm.
bunch of other shows.
Yeah,
They made its
yeah,
rounds,
but
which is crazy.
Joe, Shorty Torres, he got a win. It wasn't the type of win that he wanted, but hey, he got a win. He got slammed. He ended up surviving that slam, turning it around on the guy, and who got knocked out, Gillespie, and then that was it.
Yeah,
But the fight overall was pretty. I mean, the card overall was decent. It was a decent card. The Sam Alvey and Gian Vellante fight I thought was pretty entertaining. That was a pretty entertaining fight. Um, the Sijara Eubanks and Lauren Murphy, Eubanks being a Contender Series alumni. Um, we'll probably get used to hearing that more often. The Contender Series alumni, and not so much Ultimate Fighter alumni
yeah.
anymore.
I think ESPN is. Oh, I don't think, but ESPN is going to drop the Ultimate
Pretty much
Fighter.
getting rid of it, huh?
Yeah, it's that show has run its course a long
Yeah.
time. But going back to the main event, man.
Marlon Moraes,
Man,
Jimmy
that's
Rivera.
crazy. I mean, Marlon Morales is it's former
Moraes.
Marias, former WSOF bantamweight champion.
Both of them
Uh,
we've had on the show before.
yeah, and his first couple fights in the UFC weren't the best. I think he kind of
Yeah.
struggled, and now we're kind of seeing his potential in the UFC. Um, I still don't see him doing well in the top five though. I don't know. Who knows though, huh? Because
Who knows? You got,
he's showing his ability like he was in
yeah.
WSOF.
His next fight is um, will most likely be someone in the top five. You're looking at a Dominic Cruz. Whoever else is in top five. You have TJ
I think Dominic.
Dillashaw,
I
Cody
think
Garbrandt.
I don't see him beating any
No,
of
you
those
don't.
guys. I don't see him beating Dominic Cruz. I don't see
I
him
see him being
being.
competitive at least.
Yeah, but I don't think he. I think.
You don't think he'll win?
No.
I think depends on who he gets matched up with. I mean,
Cody? No, I think Cody was to smash him,
you think Cody will smash him?
and I think TJ would smash him too.
I think what helps him though is he's well rounded. That's what helps him, I think,
Yeah.
and he's very confident in his abilities, and he's very athletically gifted. To where he's not one dimensional type of fighter. He's not just striking. He's not just wrestling. He's kind of a well rounded guy. Comes from a really good camp of Mark Henry and all them. I think he's got a shot to beat them. But it's being in the top five, and even getting past Jimmy Rivera is a big step for him. But I think him fighting against those top 4 or 5 guys in that division, I think he's at least got a shot to beat them.
Yeah.
He's got a good shot. But would you think the fight was quick? There wasn't much to the fight. There's not a whole lot to cover for the fight.
Mm-hmm.
33-second fight. Basically a couple of filling out process real quick, and then lands the switch kick. Looks down while he's throwing it, and just lands it clean up across Jimmy Rivera's head, and then goes down, finishes him off with some ground and pound, and then that was it.
Yeah,
That was
I
it.
mean,
I did not expect it to go that quick.
no, it was a surprising fight for me. I mean, I thought Jimmy Rivera would be more, dominant, but I mean, with those fast fights, you can't really say much. You can't really break down a fight that
Yeah,
ends
you
that
can't.
quickly.
Yeah.
It was just, I mean, he struck first, and the knee he struck with landed, and Jimmy Rivera got hurt. But it's a big feather in his cap for sure, and it kind of puts a rocket behind his back, and I
Yeah.
think now he's gonna truly test himself with the top five guys at 135
It,
because it's gonna
yeah,
be tough for him.
it was surprising for it being a Friday card. I almost forgot it was gonna be a Friday. You almost forgot it was gonna be Friday. You did forget
Yeah,
it
I
was a
know.
Friday
I did
card.
forget. I think
Yeah,
our post kind of reminded me.
yeah,
Um, I got home around 9:30 and I just went to my DVR. I noticed it was like the next fight was in the main event. So I said,
yeah,
well, I wanna record it, take a shower, come back and watch it. I come back excited as how, and it ends like in seconds.
yeah, yeah,
God damn it!
yeah. It was. It surprised me. It wasn't until that morning. It was like, oh
It's
shit, no,
just
it is today. I was
yeah,
like,
it's
I
just one of
completely
those
surprised.
things where like it's just that's what happens when you have so many cards.
Yeah, I'm used to them being Saturdays or early Sunday morning, and almost rarely did they
And the
have
UFC
Friday
doesn't do
cards.
the UFC or FS1 doesn't like don't do a good job to promote or at least remind fans when it is. I because yeah, you're right. I mean, always Saturday or Sunday,
Saturday or
not
Sunday.
usually Friday's Bellator,
And we
but
came off the Darren Till
in Liverpool, yeah,
and Thompson card
Thompson card,
on
yeah.
a Sunday morning, and then following the next one was a Friday, which was I mean two cards back to back that were just on odd days.
Mm.
So if you were to match up Marlon Moraes with anybody in the top five, who would it be?
Um, one of the top five.
Let me let
Yeah,
me let me take a look. So
I think
you
it's for sure. It's in that.
obviously
It's
Cody Dillashaw.
that's. I mean, Cody's number one. Um, I'm sure. Yeah, I wouldn't know
Let me see.
like who's
Let me see. Bantamweight.
yeah.
You have Dillashaw number one.
We just had a champion, so he doesn't count, right?
Yeah, he doesn't count. Yeah. Um,
So
with
Cody,
the rankings. Yeah, obviously Cody, Dillashaw, and Cruz are definitely in the top three. You see, it's rankings. You also have Rafael Sensao, John Lineker, also in the top five.
I mentioned against Top Show.
Rafael,
Yeah,
especially
I
because
think I think it's a fight it's winnable for him and can maybe showcase more of his skills.
yeah,
And it's a fight where it'll have him set up or prepare mentally for the top of the three
yeah,
guys
because Cody, Dillashaw, and Cody are
are
fighting in
fighting
LA,
in
right?
LA in
So that
August.
one's set.
No, October
Oc-
or
I think
August.
it's
Is it
August.
August?
I think it's
August, yeah,
August.
August.
And then that one's set. So there's Cruz and Ascenso. I think Lineker just fought like recently. So you have Cruz and Ascenso. So Ascenso?
I think so.
I'd probably go. I would be okay with Ascenso.
Yeah.
I would be okay with giving him like the gradual, step up in the
Yeah,
rankings.
because beating Jimmy Rivera is a big boost for him, and then you put like you take a risk and put him against
Hmm.
Dominic Cruz, and then him. What if he loses? And then all that momentum kind of goes out the
Yeah.
window. I think fighting someone like Rafael, who I think is a pretty even matchup, can kind of set him up or prepare him for the top three of the
Yeah.
bantamweight
Because the
division.
top of the divisions are Dillashaw, Cody, Dominic, Ascenso, Lineker, Marias now, and Jimmy Rivera right underneath him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'll
Rafael.
probably I'll give him a sense out because Lineker just fought, so I'll give him a sense out. Even though, or you can match him up with Lineker, but a funner matchup I think would be a
Yeah,
sense out.
it's a more even fight too.
Yeah,
I think so.
they're both well rounded. I think it'd be a good fight.
I think Marlon can easily beat Lineker.
I think so too. Lineker's more of just obviously the power puncher.
Yeah,
Once you get him out of
yeah.
that element, I think he'll be
Because
fine.
you're right. Because Marlon is more well-rounded.
Yeah, Marlon's more well-rounded, and Ascenso is well-rounded, and I think that'll be an even matchup. I think. So yeah, I think the Ascenso Marias fight I think would be the perfect matchup for those
Yeah,
in that.
I agree.
Then you have what else this week? Dana White just came out recently with that he was planning on reversing the early weigh-in rules that have been put in place recently within the past year or so. I think it started with a California commission.
Yeah, Andy
And then
Foster.
Andy Foster, and it just took off from there.
Hmm.
A lot of fighters really like it, although a lot of fighters also have struggled with it because some fighters, I think, favor more of the later weight cut, and others really like the early weight cut.
because of that, they can rehydrate their
Yeah, they could
body.
rehydrate faster. So, what do you think? What do you think on this? Dana White's looking to reverse it. He doesn't like it. I think you look at you got to take into account Darren Till's last fight. They had early morning weigh-ins. He wasn't able to make weight, and it's happened a couple of times recently. Do you think it's a problem of the system or is it the fighters?
I think as a fighters, I think everyone knows what weight class they're in, and everyone knows what site what like when they sign the contract, they know they're fighting for example, a 155 belt, and so they
Yeah,
know they should prepare themselves a little bit better to cut that weight, so that way when they get to fight week, they didn't come in like fight for 10 to 5 pounds,
hmm
5 to 10 pounds, but coming in heavy
yeah,
looks bad. I mean, you're all professional. You're a prize fighter. You're getting money at the end of the fight. I think the fighters should be take more responsibility on themselves and their management to make
yeah,
sure they have that weight maintained when they come to fight week. I think it's bad for someone to expect to lose all that weight during fight week. I think they should come
yeah,
in already prepared.
yeah. I think so too. I think it's a fighter issue. I think if you're gonna miss weight, I think you're probably gonna miss weight already.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I mean, the cases that we've seen, even with Darren Till, he struggled to even make the weight that he did make, and so I don't think if you gave him hours more, it would have even helped him. It might have
yeah,
even hurt him.
yeah. And I think the only exception that I would give a fighter is if they have like a 2 week notice or 1 week
Yeah,
notice. But when you have a full camp and you know during that full camp what weight you're gonna fight in, I think you
yeah.
should be responsible and make sure you maintain that weight. That way, when you come to fight week, it'll be an easy cut for you.
And that's a problem. And it's going to put the UFC up against commissions who have recently adopted the early weight issues. Now you're going to have the UFC because it doesn't favor them or whatever. Dana White's
Yeah,
assuming
I
that it's
mean the whole system is so
yeah,
fucked up. I mean,
yeah,
we need to be uh
consistent.
yeah consistent and in unity. There has to
Yeah,
be a everyone plays by the same rules, not I come to California and I play by these set of rules, and then go to New York, it's a complete different set of rules.
yeah,
I think we should all play by the same rules. I mean, and be more professional. I think that it's a joke when you go to other commissions
yeah,
and you have to like do different things.
yeah. Certain rules don't apply to other commissions, and they do as they
I
do in
mean,
other commissions.
why call it unified rules when they're not really unified?
They're not really unified. Yeah, and and the fact, I mean, this takes into account that I think this is an example, another example, and we was not necessarily one of the topics we were going to touch on, but um, Yair Rodriguez being brought back into the UFC. I think his example and this example and countless others, not to mention like sponsorships and all that, is another reason why these fighters need to unionize.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
not gonna. I don't think it's ever gonna happen.
I think if it the examples like these, it's got to be frustrating to fighters and seeing fighters like it's. I don't think it's gonna happen either because everybody's
And
so
then
out for
like this whole
themselves.
like win money, the
Yeah.
show money and the win money, and I think that should be out the window too.
That and Dana White's even more so is like, oh well, you using Yair as an example to tell other fighters like, hey, if you don't take fights, I'm gonna cut
Yeah,
you.
he's a bully, and he
Yeah,
likes to terminate his fighters. If you don't play by his rules, then he's gonna you know
yeah,
fire you. And in a lot of cases or a lot of examples, if he does that, I mean, it benefits a lot of fighters, and that's why I'm happy that there's a Bellator out there that will pay money to these fighters
yeah.
that don't
Bellator, a
make
ONE
it.
FC,
Yeah, there's
even a Combate. You
yeah.
know,
So there are options for fighters, but it's sad and it angers me knowing that he's like a bully.
yeah. I mean, because
Um,
you don't like to see these fighters get taken advantage of. All these other sports have unions. I think with the stuff that's happened recently with different examples, I think it's even more of a reason why they need to unionize.
but there's a big difference between a team sport and
Yeah, there
someone
is.
like when MMA where everyone's kind of
There is.
their self contractors almost.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, they're contractors, but then it's like you have almost Dana White treating them like they're regular employees.
I mean, I blame the fighters as much as I do the
Yeah, I
promoter,
do too. Hmm.
and I mean,
You don't get any
Like
money
you don't
for
have
the
to
TV
like,
deals. You don't
yeah,
get any money from the video
dude.
games. You don't get
The
any money.
UFC is just signed a over $1 billion contract with ESPN, and
Yeah,
none of the fighters are getting jack
fighters don't
shit.
get shit. You guys
And
are
without the fighters, there isn't a show.
no. And then you have Bisping retiring. What does he get? What is he gonna? Is he
He's
living in a mansion? Is he
no,
like?
he's relying on that desk job for the rest of his
Yeah,
life.
he's relying on his commentator job. That's it. I mean, if he didn't have that, he'd probably end up having to go to coaching and be
I
struggling.
mean, I think right now his good eye is bad, so he can be
Yeah,
blind. But yeah, it's a sad thing. I mean, like you don't have to like each other, just unionize
unionize at least for
and
the just the basic rights
but
for you
these fighters
guys.
for whatever reason they don't want to
They
like
don't
back
want
each
it.
other up.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the what you get paid is a separate issue.
It's easy. Imagine, can you imagine like fighters like a big card this weekend? It's part of the deepest card this year. And can you imagine all the fighters refusing to fight?
Yeah,
I think the UFC would do something about it.
I think so too.
I think they would get together and try to satisfy their fighters.
I wish it happens. I hope that it's been little steps and stuff have failed. I just hope it happens
I
for
mean,
their sake.
I think last year we saw this boom of different unions or different
And
fighter.
they all died.
They're all gone.
They're all gone.
Yeah, once they find that once that fighter signs that lucrative contract, they forget
Yeah.
about whatever whoever
Forget
they're
everybody
attached
else.
at.
Yeah,
Yeah,
forget
attached
everybody
to.
else.
Yeah, it's a sad thing, and
It is.
I mean, yeah. Can you imagine Holly Holm, Megan Anderson, or Yo Romero? You know, it's refusing to
Yeah.
fight unless they get that kind of money.
Just for the basic rights, just for the basic, just to get the make
it's-
sure they get paid, make sure they're
yeah.
taken care
I
of.
mean,
They have bargaining
TV
rights,
the
contract
TV,
rights.
yeah, the TV deal alone would make all these people rich,
The
but
TV deal, the video game deal, the Reebok deal, all that stuff.
they sign their rights to the promotion, and they're not getting jack shit for it.
Nothing.
And
And then they
they're
leave the
smart
sport.
fighters. A lot of fighters are college
A
graduates.
lot of them
and
are
then,
college educated.
Yeah, and then they don't.
They leave the sport, and then what do they have to do? They have to pretty much go into coaching.
Dan
Basically.
Henderson, I wonder what he's doing these days.
Yeah, what are they doing? Unless you live out in wherever and you saved a bunch of money, you're really good with your money. You live out in somewhere where the rent's cheap, then I'm sure you're fine. But
Mhm.
yeah, you got like Bisping here in California and what in the OC area.
Yeah.
I'm sure his rent and his mortgage is not cheap. He's definitely got to keep that desk
Yeah.
job.
Well, he lives in Anaheim Hills, isn't he?
Who knows if his desk job is even going to last? Because with the whole TV deal going to
Well,
ESPN, are they gonna,
ESPN is planning to use them.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, then I mean that's for his sake. That's good.
Yeah.
But you got all these other
Not
players.
not all of them though.
No, I'm
No.
sure not all of them.
No.
Yeah,
No. I
And-
think a very small. I don't know. It's
because I remember like it's got to be such a like to put that much work in and be a professional athlete, and then to leave the sport and not know if you're gonna even be able to feed your family.
even when you're an active fighter, like you got to pay your management, you got to pay your agent, you got to pay your training camp, you got to pay for people
Yeah.
flying in, nutritionist, strength and conditioning coach, all that stuff.
Yeah, I remember when John Tompkins or Josh Tompkins or whatever, when he passed away,
Yeah.
coach. Then all of his other fighters, like Mark Hominick and Josh Tompkins, which is from Bellator. He's on Bellator. But either way, all the Tompkins fighters, like a lot of those guys retired shortly afterwards. I remember. I don't know if you were there. I think you were. Mark Hominick walking by, and he was auditioning for a Fox desk job, and he was all nervous about it. And
Yeah, we talked to him.
we talked to him
Yeah, we
right
talked to him,
before
yeah.
he went in there, or I think right before he got out of it. And he was like just worried about like, oh, I hope they like me, And I'm like, dude, you're Mark Hominick. You just fought for the title against
Yeah.
like Aldo, and
I mean, look at. I mean,
you're worried about how you're gonna get paid, and if
Yeah.
somebody likes you, what I
Mhm.
mean, like, dude, it's gonna
Well,
be
look-
bad.
what's his name? The black dude that fought Fedor.
Brett Rogers.
Brett Rogers.
Oh well, I mean, he's in prison.
He's in prison sucking crap.
sucking dick, for,
Sucking dick.
sucking dick for crack Yeah, under bridges. He's a different story. I don't know. Yeah,
But I mean, like, but before he went to prison, he was in the dumps.
yeah. Or even Vitor. You got to think about Vitor. I'm sure he lives in Brazil. I'm sure his U.S. money goes a long way over there.
Well, his wife's a fucking
His
soap opera
wife's,
star, so
was a soap opera star on a star. I don't know if she still is, but um, even guys like that, I'm sure they're not living like Shaq is. They don't have
yeah,
multiple mansions everywhere.
yeah.
When they should be. They put more blood, sweat, and tears into who's playing right now. LeBron James
Oh, that guy's
and
making so
Stephen
much
Curry.
money.
All those guys,
Oh my
all those guys are
god.
playing right now. They get hurt. They trip. Their ankles
Not
out. They get carried
yeah.
out to the
Not
locker
only
room.
is LeBron getting that big lucrative deal from the Cavs, which is like over $90
I think he
million.
got Nike lifetime
Yeah,
Nike deal.
Nike deal, which is $120 million,
Yeah,
plus a TV rights deal, which is that guy doesn't have to
yeah.
work for the rest of his life.
Or even if we go into fighting, a lot of these boxers, you go a lot of the boxers, which are probably the most popular combat sports athletes outside of like maybe MMA fighters. Um, they're a lot of them are set up to where they have multiple mansions. Obviously, we're not at that money yet, but I think
It's a
a lot of them should be.
yeah, it's a very small percentage when it comes to boxing.
A lot of these, I mean, look at like Chuck Liddell coming back into fighting.
Yeah,
Why? If he was set for life with his cash from the UFC, he wouldn't
yeah.
need it. He wouldn't need a fight.
I mean, I don't buy the whole I have this edge. I think it's more I need the money than the
I think
edge.
it's a money issue. I think
Yeah,
it's a
me
money
too.
issue.
But these guys are prideful. They'll never admit that.
I mean, he lost his UFC desk job.
Yeah,
I mean, you look at that. He loses his job, and then shortly after he announces it's got to be a money issue.
yeah,
He's getting that UFC paycheck's not coming in anymore.
yeah.
Um, off a side topic, obviously that also made the news. You have Andrea Lee's husband. Just want to talk about this real quick. Andrea Lee's husband it made its rounds on social media. Had some questionable tattoos that were just on display. I think they were out at the lake or whatever on vacation after her fight. He's got a couple of white supremacist Nazi tattoos on him.
Yeah.
Obviously, for us, I don't think it's that surprising.
No,
Didn't surprise.
she's a Trump supporter. Yeah.
It didn't surprise me much. I think for people outside of the sport or people who don't really follow, it didn't. I mean, not saying that Andrea Lee is a white supremacist or that she's a white supremacist supporter, but
I'm sure they use the N word at the house.
she's kind of the all-American country girl. She's got the whole Russian thing. I think because she's of Russian descent, which ties into the whole Trump thing. It's weird. She's a Trump supporter, not a big advocate she's like all about America and this and that.
Yeah.
And then she has a white former. From his story is that he was in jail. While he was in jail, he became like part of the white supremacist, kind of like the Aryan Nation part of Brotherhood.
Brotherhood, yeah.
And he got some tattoos while he was in jail. That's her coach / husband. I mean, knowing her background, her views, political views, and then she has a white supremacist husband. It didn't surprise me at all. Like it just I don't know. What do you make of it? Is it a big deal? Does it hurt her brand?
It doesn't hurt her. I don't think it hurts her brand.
No.
No, I think people watch her compete just for the fact that she competes. I think people watch her fight for an entertainment value. I don't think anybody really cares about.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a bunch of fighters on the UFC roster that probably don't think or maybe we know what they believe and I can kind of
if she was a bigger star like Holly Holm, I think it would hurt her brand. I think it doesn't give her a good look.
No, it does. It definitely doesn't. I think you're right. I think
especially because she's new.
Her profile.
It's barely on the rise. It's barely on the rise. Yeah.
And I think once she becomes like a top 10, top 5 superstar and people start noticing her, I think by that time people will forget about her husband's tattoos. But as far as right now,
I can see if she becomes a star, which is a possibility. TMZ catches her outside. Her husband's there. And they might ask about his white supremacist tattoos. I think it'll be an issue. I think he's got to get them removed.
But if TMZ comes up to her and her husband and asks her questions, like, they don't have to answer. They can just walk by.
They can, but
I think then they won't. I mean, how can they air that a clip when no one's even responding to you?
So you don't think it hurts her brand? I think it kind of does, because she's in it. He probably corners her. It hurts her gym, obviously, because you have a lot of
I mean, but who lives out in the middle of nowhere?
yeah. But I'm sure you have a couple of minorities out there. You have probably some Mexican, black,
I doubt. I
Asian
bit
people in her
black
gym.
maybe. I doubt any Hispanics are out there in the middle of the woods.
I don't know. There's a lot of Hispanics. We're pretty spread out. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, where there's water, then
Yeah, yeah,
you find us.
yeah. Exactly. So I think
But
it's pretty spread out.
yeah, I don't see it hurting her at all.
I don't think it's a good look, and I think he needs to get them removed. I would say that for her sake.
I don't think he will.
I don't think he will either. But
I think they're both like
just to
she would
squat,
never admit it, but I'm sure they use the N word all the time.
yeah. But just to put it to bed, he needs to get it removed because
Yeah,
if her star goes higher and higher, and he's along with her, it's not a good look. They're going to question him.
no.
Hey, do you still have your Nazi tattoos?
And the reason why I don't think it'll hurt her because it's not her, it's her husband. And yeah, they're connected,
But
but
she's also the coach. He's also the coach who's gonna
yeah,
be he's gonna be
but
by her side most of the time.
yeah, but they're two separate. I mean, whatever he does, he's responsible for his own for whatever he
No,
does,
he is for sure.
and
But
she has nothing to do with that.
no, but she's also encouraging it because she is a.
I mean,
She knows he has
she
white
can just
supremacist
say
tattoos.
he's whatever he does is that's his thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't agree with it, but
Yeah, well, I'm sure she
I'm
does. I'm
here.
sure she's a nice person. We've talked to her before. We've
We're
had
actually
her
on
on the show
we're actually
before.
we're actually on her Instagram.
We've had her on the show a bunch
Yeah,
before when she was coming up. We've
and
talked to her in
and,
person.
and
She's
she's
super nice, very pretty, all that stuff, very talented.
yeah.
I don't think it's a good look.
I think if it was her, obviously it'd be a blow. But the fact that it's not her,
Yeah,
and every like I said earlier, everyone's action has that's his consequence. Or that's what he did.
yeah,
She's separate. Even though she's married to him, they're two complete different people, and
yeah.
she can use that as an excuse. And and yeah, I don't think it's gonna hurt her.
Okay.
But who knows?
Who knows? I'll say okay. So this weekend you have PFL, the first event this weekend. You have LFA 42. So PFL is going to be on NBC Sports Network, yeah, and Facebook. You have LFA 42 this weekend on Access TV. You have KSW on KSWTV.com. And you have the big event, UFC 225, Romero versus Whitaker 2 from Chicago, Illinois. Let's break down that card right now.
Hmm.
All right, so the UFC 225 card, you have CM Punk, Mike Jackson. I mean, the card's stacked. We could go through the whole freaking card if you want. Pettis versus Benavidez, Clay Guida versus Charles Oliveira on the Facebook prelims, on the Fight Pass prelims. I'm sorry. What do you want to do? Do you want to go through the whole card or just the main event?
It's up to
Main
you.
card. Let's go. Let's go just the main card. CM Punk, Mike Jackson.
I'm gonna go CM Punk just because I'm a WWE guy.
I'm gonna go CM Punk too. I think he'll get it done this time. I don't know how it's gonna go down.
It's
I
kind of
don't know
hard
how
to
it's
break
gonna look.
two fighters with not very much
Yeah,
experience. Kind of hard to break down.
yeah. I don't know how it's gonna look. I don't know how it's gonna go down. But
You're intrigued.
yeah, I'm intrigued, and I assume CM Punk, and he's kicking off the main card too. Damn. Okay. Andre Arlovsky versus Tai Tavusa.
Tajavusa.
Probably Tai Tavusa. Yeah, he's a big young Samoan or what is he? New
He's
Zealand
an island boy.
New Zealand island boy. I mean, it's yeah. And Andre could do it just based on the fact that he's a veteran. He's skilled. He knows what he's doing. He could probably get by with his just experience and his skill alone. Megan Anderson, Holly Holm, big debut for Megan Anderson. We've had her on the show plenty of times. Her coming up through the ranks, making her UFC debut against Holly Holm. That's not an easy one.
Yeah, karma's gonna get you, Megan. So Holly Holmes will knock you out, and she's gonna win via knockout.
Yeah, I'll go with Holly Holm too. I think just on experience, the big stage, it's a huge card. It's not even just like a small card.
Yeah,
This is probably gonna be bigger than the International Fight Week card. This
yeah,
is just like a stacked card.
yeah.
Um, I'll go with Holly Holm. Colby Covington, Rafael Dos Anjos,
RDA.
interim welterweight title.
I think RDA is gonna maul him. I think Kobe is just too much for him, and RDA has been on the tear at 170.
Yeah.
I think he's a more well-rounded fighter. He's a strong, strong win. Is it 155? No,
Yeah.
145.
140.
He's a
No,
strong.
this is
No,
170.
170.
This
We're
is
talking about
170.
170. Yeah, he's a big 170. He's been a beast since he went to 170, and I don't see Kobe beating RDA anywhere in this fight. RDA versus TKO.
Yeah, I'll go RDA all day. I mean, obviously he has his wrestling. He could do the sprawl and brawl type of thing, but RDA is way too well rounded.
Yeah,
Yeah, RDA gets the next title shot after this.
yeah. TKO win.
Romero versus Whitaker. What middleweight title? Second time.
You know
in
what?
these two
It's
guys.
a. This is. I mean, Whitaker got the best of him the first time around. I don't
On
know.
one leg.
I just love Romero's story, and
I do
I've been
too.
listening to.
I like Romero.
I love him now.
But I
I'm a big
really like
fan.
Whitaker too.
So do I. I don't know. I listened to him on Joey's podcast. I listened to him on Joe Rogan's podcast. And recently he was on Arrow show.
Yeah, these are two guys that are both
And,
deserving of
yeah,
this title.
I'm not picking. I'm picking with my heart. I'm going to Romero.
I go Romero. I can see Romero. I mean, it can't be easy for Whitaker being almost a year out from
Yeah.
his last fight against Romero, where he beat him by decision. And
It's crazy that Romero's 41 years old
crazy
and
that
he's like that shredded and he's that
freaking
big.
jacked. Just jacked.
He's a clean jack too.
Yeah, and I would suggest to watch at least the countdown show of their segment. They have it broken down into segments. Just their segment. It's like 15, 20 minutes. It's good. Robert Whitaker. I'm gonna go with Whitaker. I really like Whitaker. I like his personality. I like his fighting style. I think he's like probably one of the best. He's like one of those
He's a very underrated champ.
very underrated champ, and I think reason because he's soft. He's like quiet. He's soft spoken, and he's
And the
like
fact that he hasn't fought in over a year. So.
yeah, he's that too. And it seems like just a normal, really nice guy. He's always smiling, family man type of thing. He's not a big trash talker. He's not single. He doesn't live the party life. So he's kind of just
He's good for the
yeah.
for the
He's
belt.
in that family box. He's almost like how like Chris Weidman was,
Mhm.
you know. But I like Whitaker. I'll probably go with Whitaker this time. I think you beat a guy before. I think a lot of times it can either, if it's competitive, you're going to have the trilogy. If not, I would say if he wins, I'd say he finishes Romero this time.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, I can see that happening too.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't know.
that's a hard fight.
That's my prediction.
I'm picking. I'm a big fan of Romero now.
I like them both. I really like them both, and I wish they both had two titles.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's it. That's this weekend, this Saturday. So that's our show. The MMA Complex. Go to themmacomplex.com for all things MMA Complex.
Yeah, follow us on social media. You can follow me on Snapchat. Oh, not Snapchat. I always say Snapchat for some reason. You can follow me
We
on
don't have a
Twitter.
Snapchat yet.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter, MMA Complex James. You can follow him, MMA Complex Josh. You can follow the show on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all under the MMA Complex. Yeah, big weekend. I'm so pumped up for this Saturday. We're going to all break it down on the next episode. So until then, enjoy the fights and enjoy your week.